boys.
Curtis!
Hey!
Hello. I'm here.
Welcome
to Motorsport Republica, guys. Christmas special, guys.
Yeah.
No.
Da-da-da-da!
This is Curtis.
Unveiled.
I am the wizard of the editor.
Yeah.
Hello.
He
Not
is the
Wizard of
brains and the muscle behind the whole
Operation.
production team.
The
Yeah.
meme god.
The
Yeah.
slave. Anyway.
Yeah, we lock you in a cage in the backyard and
Yeah,
you
I'm
feed
quitting.
you a laptop and
I'm fucking
get you working.
Can't do this shit 16 hours a day. Come on.
Free chicken teriyaki, bud.
Fuck
Nah,
that.
Gyoza. I did let him get the
Gyoza.
Gyoza.
No,
Didn't let him get it.
You give me ginger beer, not sarsaparilla. Come on.
We pay you once a month in food. Come on, Mop. Then you've been Asian fusion so far as well.
Nah,
Gotta
mate,
get
need some shitty wok, mate.
sauerkraut or something into you.
Yeah, I reckon.
Some German.
Well,
Yeah.
all jokes aside, Curdy, thanks so much for everything this year.
It's all good, mate.
We've had an amazing first year of this, haven't we?
Crazy first
Yeah.
year, man.
So it's probably grown a lot in the last few weeks, even that really exceeded our expectations. So
Yeah, I think we're all still trying to come to terms with it, to be honest.
Yeah,
so,
it's been cool.
So just nudging on 4,000 followers on Instagram, which is phenomenal for us. And
By the time it's out, we'll be over 4,000.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
A lot more
Moving quick.
engagement.
Yeah.
So it's obviously people are enjoying the podcast and the content we're creating. So we really appreciate all the support.
Yeah, it's amazing. Every time I look at the phone, it's just blowing up.
Yeah. So on tonight's app, we're going to just explain a bit about us. Why are we doing this? How did we come to this?
Yeah.
And we had some fan questions come in as well, which we're excited to
Yeah, true.
yeah,
Yeah.
excited to talk about. So
We're just going to start shagging each other, don't we?
Start off with a bang, Curtis.
That's for the Patreon episode.
Yeah, that's the Patreon.
You're gonna hold off on that one, Mike.
we're that's going to be the end of the show. So stay tuned. Who's going to make the first move? That's a real question.
Oh, because Tommy, he gets handsy. Gets handsy when he's pissed.
So James, tell us a bit about yourself, mate.
Puts me on the spot.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, just a motorcycle enthusiast for the past 29 years. As all our listeners, they probably watch, especially MotoGP. I find MotoGP fans are diehards. They've been watching it since they're a kid.
Yeah.
One of my first words that I actually ever said as a kid was not Max Biaggi, it was Max Miyagi. That
There you
was
go.
Max Biaggi was probably one of my first memories.
Which bike was he on back then?
Marlboro Yamaha.
Yep.
Oh, he would have been on a 250 actually. Daniel would know this. He's probably on the Aprilia, yeah. The Chesterfield one. Was it Chesterfield
Yeah,
he ran for a
Chesterfield.
bit?
Good bike, that.
Yeah, so...
And your old man was into bikes, obviously.
Yeah, so I was like...
Give him a shout out.
Yeah, Dave Suvakshaw got me...
The goat.
Self-proclaimed nickname, Superbike.
He's not going to like you for that one.
One of our biggest fans.
Yeah, he's probably top ticket holder.
Yeah, top
yeah.
ticket. Has an amazing Ducati collection. Big Ducati fanatic.
Biggest Ducati fanatic you're ever gonna meet. So, yeah, and then just watching MotoGP. I think we've spoken about it. Staying up late because it was always on replay at like 12 o'clock at night or 1 in the morning, watching all the 500s and the old school MotoGP stuff, which is really cool. And then like crazy stuff. Like, we were such Rossi fans. It was a school night, and I remember my old man we were playing like MotoGP 2001 or 2002, whatever it is, on PS2. And he, it was like 1 in the morning, and my old man wakes me up going, James, I've unlocked Valentino Rossi. We can play Valentino Rossi now.
That's so good.
That's awesome.
So it's always been, yeah, really cool. And just, yeah, watching it. Fuck, forever. I haven't missed a race. I've been on the MotoGP ever since I was like 10 years old. And Dad's work, we got to meet Colin Edwards, who was like the nicest person in the world.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then, yeah, I remember seeing Casey Stoner on the 125. I remember seeing Rossi on the Repsol Honda when he caught back up and overtook, I think, Barros Cheeseburger. When he had that 10-second penalty.
Cheesy,
that was
yeah.
my first MotoGP back in 2003. When it pissed down rain all weekend and then dried up for that race.
Yeah.
Or at least the end of the race. And then, yeah, that's it. Fuck, that's it. Just watching GP. It's been my thing. And then I got into F1 as well through Tom. I've always liked F1 as well, like especially for the Schumacher era, Ferrari and everything like that. and then we always used to play the games and do all that. So if no one really knows how it all started, it's me and Tom were mates from primary school. I think we were like grade 5.
Yeah.
And then all the way into year 7, and then I actually moved to Sydney for like 9 or 10 years through my family, and then the only way we actually stayed in contact was through playing bloody Formula 1 and MotoGP games and Call of Duty.
Yeah,
There you go.
PlayStation.
Yeah. And PlayStation. So we used to play all day and all night when we could, and do laps around Spa or Phillip Island, or play Gran Turismo, or a whole fuck ton of Call of Duty back in the day when we were like 15. And
Good times.
good time. But if I could go back,
Simpler times.
Oh, yeah.
oh my god, if I could go back to
How
that,
good are those
seriously.
memes? You're like, oh, you wouldn't know, like, how
Oh.
good getting home for the boys, jumping straight on.
Oh my
Mum
God.
yells out, dinner's cooking in 2 hours. You're like, fuck yeah, I get 2 hours to play. So, and we hate it, like, now we like work full time.
I
Obviously,
know.
we do this for a bit of fun, but yeah, they were good times back then.
Man, they were the best. So, and then just moved back down for work, and then yeah, just but like, we always went down to MotoGP every year. I'd always fly down or drive down or for Phillip Islands.
Yeah, I probably more come from a Formula 1 fan background. I used to get up, same with you guys, and watch it early in the mornings. My first memory was probably early 2000s, Brazil, big crash, Mark Webber crashed into the wall. I just remember sitting up watching with my old man. And then he ended up going into a couple of races of the Australian Grand Prix 2000, 2001 with my mum's work, and he started watching it, I started watching it, and then, you know, the rest is history, I suppose. So, and then met James for probably slowly got into MotoGP, and I have to admit, as a fan, I probably haven't really been a fanatic until probably 18-19 season.
Yep.
But you
So-
still watched it all the way through, I reckon.
Yeah, watched it all the way through, but like wouldn't watch, you know, the Moto 3, Moto 2 now. Now I might be a Superbike fan soon. Who knows?
Hopefully.
Oh, yeah, that could be the next thing. But
Sure.
but the racing, the MotoGP, that race, that 40 minutes of action, there's nothing like it.
yeah, it's the best.
There's nothing like it on the planet. You can watch Formula 1, and Formula 1 is much more strategic, much more. You got to know.
It's very calculated.
Got to know a lot of the
Yeah.
background stories, a lot of the feuds and stuff, and that's why the Drive to Survive's obviously made the sport so much more popular, because people can understand it. It's not
Yeah.
just fast V6 hybrid engines racing around, going as fast as they can. So, but yeah, that's got a lot more exciting in the last few years as well. The 2021 season was probably the peak of motor racing in the LA forever. So
Yeah, that's
That
right.
was absolutely unreal, wasn't it?
that the sport was peaking, the season peaked, the two
Just come together beautifully.
come together like an amazing, and obviously the popularity, and I think it's probably helped MotoGP to a certain extent, because people are so much interested in motor racing now after
Definitely.
after COVID and stuff, because it's a release Sunday night. Like, how much are we missing it right now as well?
Oh man, it's rough.
But yeah, I mean, just memories of waking up every early. My thing was always waking up early on Monday morning and watching it, because when you're a kid, you couldn't stay up until 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night. So my old man used to wake me up 6 a.m. We used to watch it on the old VHS.
There you
Chucked it
go.
in the
Oh,
bloody thing.
true.
Yeah, no
Sounds right
qualifying back then.
Yeah, nothing.
Didn't know who was on pole. The first
Nothing.
time you knew it was on pole was when they were reading at the grid at the start of the race. So
Yeah, it's alright.
It's nuts.
And it's funny you say that, like, especially with, and probably a lot of our listeners relate to this, is when you're in school. It's not like many people knew about MotoGP or Formula 1, so
No.
when you found a mate that like was into
Yeah.
it was as rare as hen's teeth.
you hooked onto it.
Yeah,
and I
that's
remember
right.
like I used to love when the Australian Formula 1 Grand Prix came around, because everyone
Yeah,
started
it was a
talking
big
about
deal.
it. And they were like, "Oh, this and that." I was like, "Oh, man, I know everything." You like to, stop trying to be a fanboy. Just
Just come to me for the
Talk
info.
to the king.
And I
I'll
felt
tell
that-
you, I'll tell you.
I felt that last few years after Drive to Survive, a lot of people become fans of the sport, and but they don't know anything about the history. So it's always an interesting topic.
Ayrton Senna, who's that?
Yeah, like far out.
Never heard of 'em.
Yeah. What about you, Dan? Where does it all start for you? Obviously, you're old man who we've met this year, and he's a bloody cult figure, isn't he?
Oh,
Pino.
turn it
he
up.
could be the glue of all of us, to be
Don't
honest.
touch a
Pino.
GPS. Don't
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
But we'll have to get Pete on one day. He is a legend, living
Father's
legend.
Day special.
Yeah.
He actually needs his own podcast.
Yeah, no, he's not sharing with anyone else. He's
No.
got to be a whole 2-hour time slot.
Yeah, just him in the camera. That's it. No
Oh,
one else in the
yeah.
room.
Nah, no other protagonists.
Yeah,
It's just
we're just
talking.
asking questions from behind the camera. You'll have no dramas.
You go, don't worry, ask me the questions. I ask the questions.
Yeah, I'll ask myself the questions.
I ask the questions.
Rocky, I was gonna say, we're talking about Rocky today.
You'd have a cousin named Rocky, so it doesn't matter. It could relate back to it anyway.
He's loosely related to Sylvester Stallone.
Some
If
don't
Pino's
know.
listening, Rocky 4 is the best Rocky as well.
Oh, good luck
I'm
stepping
half
foot into
expecting
my
to go for that
house.
bloody door, right?
Yeah, good luck walking
So
into
Rocky
my
4 is
house.
Russian in
Dolph,
Russia.
yeah.
No,
Dolph
three
Lundgren.
is my favourite.
What, Clubber Lang?
Hey?
Clubber Lang?
No, Hulk Hogan, Mr. T.
Yeah, it's
that's
Clubber
it,
Lang.
Clubber.
Yeah.
Nah, it's Rocky 4.
It's Rocky 4, Mom.
If he dies, he dies.
Yeah.
I must break you.
Yeah, movie Republica. That's next year. No,
Yeah.
it all stemmed from my old man. He was riding bikes before he drove a car, sort of thing, and grew up around bikes, loved anything that went fast, fell in love with Suzuki. And then, just as a young kid, being able to get on the back of the bike and then understand what racing was and following MotoGP. A little bit of super bikes back then, not as much as now. And obviously meeting all the dad's mates who were into track days and stuff like that. I used to go as a kid and just rip their tyre warmers off, and for me that was the world. So, always wanted to ride Phillip Island. That was the biggest dream of mine, and so I just fell in love from there and started watching the racing more and more. Tried to get to Phillip Island when I could, otherwise just watching it on the TV, waking up, trying to stay up late, falling asleep, watching it the next morning, recapping through like Instagram and Facebook and stuff coming up through that sort of time.
Yeah, it's big thing for motorsport.
Yeah, 100%. Trying to find highlights on YouTube.
Yeah.
Back then there wasn't much. It was just a photo and then like someone commentating behind it. So, just sort of fell in love from there. And obviously Italian household, had to be a big Rossi fan.
Yeah.
Still a big Rossi fan.
No Biaggi fans?
Anyone with the green, white, red, mate, they're good to me. So, no, we don't. It was always Rossi. It was never Biaggi, but
Poor guy.
I don't think many people like him, eh?
Jesus.
He likes himself, though. Bit of a Lorenzo type operator.
Oh,
I think.
100%. They're good mates, those two.
Oh, that explains a lot.
Yeah, they are.
That explains a hell of a lot.
You wouldn't be able to get a word in if you'd be like, I'm the best. No, I'm the best.
Yeah, exactly. And then cars, same thing, family friends with cars and VK Brockies
Yeah, a
and
couple
BL
VK Brockies.
Commodores
What colour?
and
What colour, VK?
Blue, the blue one.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the same thing, I just, again, like I said, liked anything that went quick and was different, and started following F1 and fell in love with Kimi Räikkönen.
True.
And just followed the Iceman all the way through. Just sort of...
He's a man.
Yeah, he's a legend. I just love the way he sort of was in interviews, and that sort of cold, not much, bit of a... Oh, you wouldn't say larrikin, but, that kind of...
Very unique.
Yeah, unique persona.
Yeah.
And just fell in love with that, and then obviously the love grew from there to then Max Verstappen. So anyone that's at the peak of their powers sort of... Yeah, that just kills it and has that sort of killer instinct I always sort of was drawn to, and just sort of loved it and fell in love with it, and become more into it obviously since we started this, and even through COVID, I think, because we didn't have much to do, just followed it a lot more closely through the whole weekend.
It was a saviour, wasn't it?
It was. So
Definitely was. Like, it was and we spoke about this a couple of weeks ago, it was a one thing to look forward to.
100%, and I think that got me more into the free practices, the qualifying, rather than just watching race day. So, blessing in disguise is a silver lining to everything. So,
Don't you know it's crazy that 2020 season though on MotoGP? It was like full of so many ups and downs when we were all watching it from home. Like, you had Marquez, obviously injury; he was cooked for a whole year. Then everyone thought Fabio Quartararo was just going to run away with it. He wins both Jerez and then does really nothing.
Yeah, had one more win after that, and that was it.
Yeah, and then you had Juan Mir obviously take it out, and then I think that was the same year in 2020 they had that massive crash in Austria.
Yeah, with Rossi
With
and
Rossi and
Vinales. And Vinales.
Morbidelli and Zarco.
I think Vinales also had a brake failure on the
and
the second
had
race.
to jump
race.
off the bike.
Yeah, that was the best racing.
It was amazing.
God, yeah, that was unbelievable, wasn't it?
I think it goes back to what we said about this year. If you take Verstappen out, it makes for great racing.
Yeah.
It was the same thing. You took the best out and got great racing. So, But yeah, just, loved it all from there. Like I said, loved anything with bike and
Yeah.
working in the industry, and that's how I met James, and
Yeah, true. That's I like what you said about watching someone at the peak of their powers. I reckon in motorsport, watching someone, sometimes it can be boring, but when someone's like on and they're on their peak of their powers, if it's
it's interesting because you don't really know when the peak is either.
True.
So you look back at it like, is this the peak for Verstappen, or is he going to win another 4 championships?
That's right. And then, you see someone like Marquez through his peak. He was so unbeatable. Or Valentino in like 03, we shared that post, I think, this morning about how unbeatable he was. Casey Stoner or Max Verstappen or Michael Schumacher. Like, you don't know. But when you see them on, even like a Lorenzo, I never appreciate it. But
you don't appreciate it till after.
You don't appreciate it till 10 years after, and I've finally gotten over him beating Rossi. But like that, I always speak about it, that Magello race where he just took off and everyone did a 3-second lead within a couple laps and then held those silky smooth and held those lap times. It's probably still, for me, one of the best performances ever on a MotoGP bike was that by Lorenzo. And as much as, everyone gives him shit.
So was that
incredible?
Was that 15?
It would have been... I actually reckon it was like between 2010 or 2012.
Oh, way back.
It was early, yeah. Because I remember Ben Spies was commentating because he was injured. Yeah. And he had a really good analysis on the race and how he got out in the lead as well, and just put the burners on everyone.
Yeah, he was like on a train, like a rail.
Man,
he was in between that little slot.
Nothing
and he was
was
always
stopping
pretty
him.
good around there too.
Yeah, he was, and it suited Yamaha.
Yes, it did back then.
What about you, Curdy?
Me?
Where did it all start from for you for motorsport? You're obviously into riding bikes on the road.
That was recent. Grew up in Canberra. So actually didn't see a lot of MotoGP. It was in the periphery, but it wasn't actually something I was actually properly looking at. It was V8 supercars I was actually watching.
Right, okay.
So Peter Brock, Craig Lowndes,
Rocky.
And then Jamie Whincup coming up in Craig Lowndes, kind of mentoring him. But my parents were big Rossi fans.
Okay.
Big Rossi fans. They'd watch... You alright, mate?
That's better.
That's better?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to do it this way now. Big Rossi fans. They'd watch it all the time.
Okay.
And then Formula 1 with Schumacher, they'd love watching that. And then whenever we went on to like a trip to Europe, for instance, then we'd always, if we would make a stop to Italy, it'd be in the middle of Formula 1 season. And we'd always go to a bar when Ferrari was either in the lead or at the very last, essentially. And we just sit by and we wait for at least a few old codgers to come in and either be happy as hell that Ferrari's in the lead or absolutely pissed that they were not in the lead. And it was the funniest sight to ever watch, and we just leave because we're just like, that's our little form of entertainment for today. Oh, mate.
It's amazing, that country, isn't it? Like, they're just fanatical.
So passionate.
Yeah.
But a lot of European countries are.
You're right. They are, but I don't think the Italians, man. I don't think anyone beats the Italians.
Like, the other European countries are more fanatical about a rider, not a team.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like,
but then look at the Italians of Rossi.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, they get fanatical, especially at Mugello.
Yeah.
Like, before he retired, the whole bloody hills were just covered in fucking yellow. Everywhere. You'd walk down, not the pits, but just the entrance through the farmlands, and it's just every tent is Rossi. Absolutely mental. But the last couple of years since riding, I've been getting a bit more into MotoGP. Like, it was always in the periphery, but now it's kind of getting more and more front line and center with me.
Yeah, I think once you jump on a bike, you realize how fucking crazy these guys are as well.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It is just... And, like, we talk about this going to a track day at Phillip Island and, like, going to that first corner. And, like, I wouldn't know what to fucking do.
Well, he's the man to ask.
Yeah.
He's done it before.
Yeah.
He got to do a whole day.
Whole day, Phillip Island.
Yeah.
That was great fun. Got to watch a good friend of mine crash on the track day as well.
What happens?
It happens. Oh, mate, it was a depressing trip on the way back. Fucking depressing. Good fun, though.
Didn't get much out of him on the way back?
Nah, she was dead quiet. And I was like, you alright? And she's like, I'm fine. I'm like, you're not fine.
Oh,
You're depressed as shit. She's like, no. I'm like, This is depressing right now. This is bad.
Bit overconfident going into Siberia.
Siberia, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's on video.
Siberia. It's a tricky corner, isn't it?
Too much handful of a break, I reckon.
A little off camber there, Curdy.
Nah, it went too hard on the inside. Realised, put on the front brake and dumped the bike. Nearly got run over by a dude.
It's pretty gnarly. Maybe we can clip it in.
So have we got footage? There's
Yeah,
footage.
no,
Oh
no,
my
no
god,
footages.
Curdy, please. Curdy, please. Yeah, well, fucking hell, crazy. And what bike do you have now, Curtis? You got
I
a...
got 2 bikes.
Yep.
So MT-03 is what I've been riding majority of the time, and I've been riding the Street Fighter V2 recently.
Nice.
And that thing is both scary and fun.
And what did you ride at the track day? The
MT-03.
Okay.
And it was absolutely a blast to catch up to a CB1000 on the corners, especially at Miller and Siberia, and wave at them. And then when you get to the chicane and after Loogie Heights, when you get to the last corner, they just go by you again waving at you, and you're like, fuck, all right, game on.
Yeah, it's interesting that my neighbour Daniel took his V2 to Phillip Island on a track day, and there was some guys in like 1,000 litre bikes, and they were like, they had full gas down the straight, and as you got off the peak, they took the throttle off because it was just like going way too fast. And he said he was just repassing them again.
Well,
So
one thing that some people don't know with just riding bikes in general is like if you get on a really big bike, 1000cc for instance, and you haven't ridden it often, and you go from 0 to 150 like that, your brain doesn't register it.
Yeah.
So you just all you see is images. Not like just nice and fluid, like frames per second, like well over 120 frames per second. Your eyes can see much more than that. But it's just stop frames.
yeah.
And your brain goes, what the hell
What am I
looking
doing?
at?
Yeah, where's the corner? What do I do next? Like, yeah, you go into a bit of a panic mode.
That was what I was experiencing with the V2 for like the first few rides. I was like, oh, let's just see how it goes through Marysville and doing 200 and going, I can't see properly.
Yeah.
Let's back it off a bit.
Yeah, it's amazing how your eyes adjust. They say with like, this is off topic, but like with the halo in the Formula One, once you concentrate on the road, your eyes actually take the halo out. They don't see it.
That's
because
amazing.
their eyes adjust. Your eyes adjust to it. So it's all about your mind adjusting to the.
We already do it with our nose. I'm surprised he can do it with his. Put the fucking Nürburgring on that damn thing.
Clip it in. Clip it in.
I don't appreciate
Dang.
that.
Oh, mate, it's a sore sight. It's like watching Tony Abbott and the fucking budgie smuggler go on the beach. It's horrible. Every Tuesday, Thursday, I have to see it walk in, mate.
He's got nothing.
I got nothing.
Oh goodness.
Rough.
I got nothing.
Oh goodness.
Well, luckily we can edit this part out.
No, the cheap
That's
editor.
staying in, mate. That is staying in.
Fuck yeah, that's crazy. James, did you want to jump on some fan questions that we had?
I don't have them.
I've got them up here.
Daniel's got them.
Yeah, boy.
So I got a couple of questions from our story the other week. We're going to start with Mr. J. Pole's question. Is there any footage of Tom slut dropping at the Republica Christmas party?
Fuck. Not that I'm willing to give out.
Again, that can be found on our Patreon.
Yeah.
It was an interesting night, our Christmas party, because for some reason we keep yelling out Will Minson's name. He used to play AFL for Western Bulldogs. Get Minson off!
Get him off.
And then James even had the recording going, so I don't know what happened. We're 28, 29 years old, but fucking, we're still kids, aren't we?
Yeah, that was rough, man.
That was funny, but
I was fucking pissed.
yeah, it was a big night.
And
good
then
fun.
Tom hit the wall just instantly, and that was it. He was gone.
Called it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just overheated, I think. Just fucking big diesel truck just went uphill too fast. So. These little fucking two strokes can keep going forever, but...
setting up a bit of a storm.
Yes. Good night, though. Good
It was
night.
a great night.
Yeah.
But yes, there is some footage. Don't think it'll see the light of day, though.
Yeah. Maybe Patreon. Maybe Patreon.
Maybe.
Maybe, baby.
Abby_LVR, do you guys follow any sidecar racing, or will you blokes cover the Isle of Man next year?
Isle of Man 100% will cover.
Yeah, we might have something really special coming up for Isle of Man soon.
Yeah.
So
We did touch on it a little bit this year. We were meant to have a live cross to Dave's
true.
Superbike,
Yeah, let us down.
but
No, we had a live cross, but it was...
it got the dates mixed up.
Yeah, you got the...
It got us after dinner.
Yeah.
And we tried to do a screen recording, but then we couldn't get audio or something like that, so we learned from next year.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely. It's an event that really interests us. And those guys are the fucking craziest guys.
They're
They can
mental.
ride.
they're mental.
They are. So definitely we'll cover that this year. It's sort of one of those hard events to cover that I find. Like, there is 5 different categories. 5 different races, and
sort of it happens over 2 weeks, so it's always hard to cover in one episode.
And the coverage is always tough as well.
Oh, the coverage is like a 1 hour highlight show on fucking
Yeah.
Stan Sport or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, which would be hard anyway because like it's such a long track and a long race as it is. So
Sidecar racing, we may cover that a little bit in the Isle of Man segment, but it's not
Correct.
something that we...
Yeah, I don't personally follow it. I'm not going to lie. I've seen a bit of it at Broadford when I've gone.
Yeah.
They've had sidecars there, but yeah, I don't actively follow it.
but if there's anything that's cool, send us a DM and we'll check it out.
Yeah,
I'm always
100%. We're
keen
always
to see
open
some
to
new
see-
stuff.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
But the Isle of Man stuff is where it's at. Those guys are the craziest. There's such good crazy footage out
That
there.
just sounds like more slave labour, you bastards.
Gertie, we love you.
The next question is from David Petrocelli, and it is: do a garage tour of all the bikes you guys have. Motorsport Republica group ride.
Ooh,
I think that's a great idea.
We could do a group
David.
ride.
I
Yeah.
think we can definitely organise a group for ride. For
Yeah,
all
I'll
of
jump
our-
on something. That's fine.
Oh, yeah.
I owned during the year I bought a Tuono.
Famously.
What did I buy again?
11 Tuono V4.
A Tuono V4 1100. Scared the fuck out of me, and I sold it.
It's alright, but you enjoyed riding it in your shorts and t-shirt.
I enjoyed riding it around the block in shorts and t-shirt, but that was it.
And you got motion sickness on riding it. Fucking puss. Handle it.
Yeah, that was a very sooty thing for me to happen, so sorry about that. So I just didn't connect well with the bike, but we'll definitely get on something soon, I reckon.
Too much
Yeah.
front end chatter or something like that.
Bro, that thing, it didn't like going at high speed, did like go at slow speed.
Overheated.
The man riding it, wasn't the most skilled person. So.
Yeah, they're a handful of bike.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Fucking hell. Like,
Man, he picked that up from Shepparton, and I was like, "Oh, I'll come with you. I'll ride it back." And I was like 10 o'clock at night,
Yeah.
riding it
Oh.
from fucking Shepparton to Melbourne. I've never been so cold in my life, and I'm like sitting on this thing on the highway, like just at 100 k's an hour, whatever it is, and Tom's in his like nice walk Kia in front of me.
no, the best thing was...
No, I'm about to say, and I'm watching me swerving all over the road, but I'm using him. It's pitch black. I'm using him as a reference because he's got lights. I couldn't see fucking kangaroos everywhere.
the bugs, remember the bugs?
Bro, the bugs were fucked. I
Yeah.
couldn't see my visor. I need a tear off. I've never been so cold in my life. Anyway, I'm using Tom as a reference. I've got trucks on the other side, and he's swerving all over the road. And I'm like, why is he swerving? And I pull up next to him, and on the dash, he's got the fucking cricket on. And Nathan Lyon got a wicket. And he's celebrating in the car, and I'm taking his bike home, frozen cold, for free.
Did he shout? Oh, he didn't shout you a meal or
I haven't
anything?
got anything out of it.
That's what friends do, bruh.
That was fucked, man. That was a fucked
It
experience.
sounded fine on paper and terrible in real
When you
life.
get there, you realise,
I'll never-
oh, that's
I'll
wrong.
never do that. And I couldn't, man. I had summer gloves on, which is stupid, and I had just like winter thermals underneath.
Yeah.
My hands, like, because it was so tight, my hands were fucking.
You couldn't stop
Cramping.
you couldn't stop the bike. Remember, you
Yeah.
stopped at the servo. You're like, I can't stop because your hands wouldn't work.
Yeah, so I didn't have any brakes.
Oh my god,
it was
that's
fucked.
way
Yeah.
too funny, man. You guys are classics.
That was
Yeah,
so
brilliant.
dangerous. That was so stupid.
But the guy who bought it off me, still keep in touch with him. He was actually a really nice guy. And he's really enjoying the bike. So
Oh, that's,
That's
good.
good.
yeah,
That's good to hear.
he obviously had a little bit more skill than me.
Ah, mate, don't sell yourself short.
But I'll get something, a little
I think like an MT-09 or something.
yeah,
would
something
suit
like
you
that.
well.
I like
see,
that
yeah.
style of bike. That sort of bit more
Yeah, a bit more
Naked.
upright, naked.
upright, naked bike. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Curtis, you touched on it before, but you give us again what you've got.
Yeah, MT-03 Yamaha and a Street Fighter V2 in the Storm Green colour.
Yeah,
So
nice.
similar to like the jacket, the jumper I'm wearing right now, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah, a big boy bike, huh? It's pretty good.
I got my big boy pants on.
Very good. Jim?
I've got a RM250 1999 model. Picked that up fucking dirt cheap. Love that motorcycle. It scared the fuck out of me when I rode
Did
it.
it?
Yeah, it's so much power, that thing. It was fucked.
I had to ride it for him all day.
Yeah, he did.
Should have got the 1.125, bro.
Yeah. Well, it's just like, because it's an older motorcycle, my motocross skills are more refined to newer bikes. I had to get set up for me and stuff. And, Daniel can have the old farm bike.
We still
and
haven't
stuff.
done the farm ride, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, busy. You're still waiting on the throttle cable.
No way you are.
no, I got it. I just haven't done it yet.
So there you go.
So I'm going to do, hoping that, I'll slowly do it up as a Jeremy McGrath replica.
It is a wicked bike though.
Yeah,
so
it's
it was
cool.
my first taste of like proper
Two-stroke.
two-stroke, and I shit myself too. I was like, this thing's way too much power.
Yeah.
Oh, for what we're doing it in, it was fucked.
Oh, it was crazy, man.
Yeah.
It was just the front wheel. I can't wheelie to save my life, and this front wheel was coming off the ground. I was like pooping them.
Yeah.
I was like, what am I
The
doing?
clutch was pretty cooked on it.
Yeah.
And a Street 77765 RS, which you guys all know, and that's an awesome bike. That does everything.
Yeah, that is a really well-rounded bike, isn't
That's
it?
most well-rounded bike.
Don't join
Yeah.
the cult. Don't join the cult.
They're very popular, the Triumphs.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people
But like
with them.
for everyday riding to work and just enough power, comfortable. Like I mean,
Oh,
what else?
light.
What else do you buy?
And you
know?
can do it on a track day on it, no stress.
Yeah.
You can go through the hills on it. Does
Moto
everything.
2 engine.
Moto 2, it's a Moto 2 engine.
Yeah, yeah, great bike. They've done so well with their that sort of style of bike, Triumph.
Yeah. absolutely. Even in their learner, the 660 is a really popular bike.
Yeah.
I don't think they make it anymore, but
Don't they?
I don't think so. But it's still super popular amongst.
You
the
agree,
riders.
Curtis?
What, Triumph?
Yeah.
Other than the electrical problems and Daytona keyholes, just getting robbed. Yeah, it's a pretty good bike.
He's a hard man to please.
He is. He is. He's a perfectionist. That's why we
Yeah.
have him on board.
That's right. Exactly. So,
What about you, Daniel?
personally, I have a G6R 750 that I just picked up not long ago that I'm absolutely falling in love with. CBR 600 F4i track bike that I'm trying to rebuild.
Have you gotten the head bolts yet?
Yeah, I got the head bolts.
Cool.
Yeah. It's just finding time.
He's very
to
busy.
put it
Very
on.
busy
Yeah,
man.
Busy man.
Yeah.
Fingers in a lot of pies. So
Oh,
Oh,
Jesus. Hang on a
Jesus.
second. Keep her out of it.
Who's Mrs. Pie?
We've had a lot of love interest of Daniel over the pod so far. We've kind of gone through the journey of him being single.
Yep.
There's been multiple questions, including today's. Is maybe a homosexual?
Hey, that's
Especially with that
totally
earring.
fine at this time and age. We completely support you, mate.
Oh no, we completely support.
I
it.
appreciate it. I
Um,
can definitely confirm I am not though.
now he's got a lovely lady. Sorry, ladies, he is taken.
No, I take that back. I don't want to cop a pan across the top of the head.
Yeah. No, a nice, lovely, another Italian lady. So
Yeah.
as you can imagine, very fiery. So it's
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to get bashed or it's great,
Hey, keep it on your toes, bro. That's
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
good.
that's
That's good.
right.
I like it,
He's-
Bit crazy is good.
That's right. So it's just good to see Daniel's journey into manhood.
Oh, man. Yeah. Struggled. I got scared for a long time,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
I'm a bit scared.
Well, it's quite funny throughout the year, going back to your bikes, you bought this Suzuki Gixxer, but you didn't want to release it to the
Yeah,
public.
'cause
And
I
I had
wanted-
little nuggets throughout the year. Remember little
Yeah.
nuggets he used to throw in his head?
Yeah.
And that was a quite funny, humorous anecdote throughout the year.
Yeah. Which one was that?
Your jigsaw.
Jigsaw.
Oh, the jigsaw. Yeah.
Fuck,
Sorry.
what's going on?
My apologies. I'm a bit scattered.
He's overheating.
Yeah, he's had a big week.
It's hot in this onesie. But yeah, got the G6R, I got the CBR. Still got the Ducati Monster that I'm trying to sell.
But you've been trying to sell this for fucking a year and a half.
Lamb's
Drop the
bike,
price, Daniel.
I have. If anyone's interested, hit me up. And then a mixture of dirt bikes that we share between my old man, my brother, and I.
Yeah, nice.
450 Honda, 250 KTM, which is awesome.
Yeah, Kato's good.
That's heaps of fun. And a 450 EXC, that's a motard as well.
Mm.
So yeah, there's a bit around the house. So
Cool.
keeps us busy. But yes, Motorsport Republica group ride. We should definitely organise something. That's a great idea. So
Yeah.
we'll definitely throw that on the
I'll
socials.
take the Ducati Monster.
Yeah, 100%, man. Go for gold. Absolutely.
I'll bid it. You can claim it on insurance.
Insurance job.
Done. No, don't say that. No. For insurance purposes, that was a joke. This is from James Burge. Can we make Tom talk for 4 minutes and 17 seconds, specifically about World Superbike?
Oh, I'm happy to give it shit for fucking 4 minutes.
I think Curtis is going to get the timer up for us, so feel free to go for
How long was it? 4 minutes?
4 minutes and 17 seconds.
17. Got it, mate. 3, 2, go, mate.
So my only problem with it is the lack of, I'm not going to say lack of talent, but I would say almost lack of marketing.
That's a fucking great call, actually.
Like,
I'm not going to be honest.
Nothing, like, have you ever seen a World Superbike commercial?
Actually, you know what? Kawasaki never marketed Jonathan Ray in this country when he won his 5 titles or 6 titles in the Trop. Nothing for a ZX10. And then when I was selling them back in the day, he couldn't give the things away, even though it won 5 world titles in a row. So great point.
Yeah.
They don't market it.
100%. Like, and he was the king of World Superbikes for so many years.
Well, I was having a chat with someone today. It was a couple of those. There wasn't really much around him to fight. So
Too much racing. Okay, I don't need fucking 3 races in one weekend.
Right.
Okay, 2 races is more than enough. All right, if they want to do something different in pole, do a fucking super pole, like a top 10 shootout via supercars.
What about Super Pole race on the Saturday and then go back to both races on the Sunday, traditional?
No, because they need to bring the people to the event. That's the whole reason they're doing it. It's because no one's going, so they have to put a race on the Saturday.
That's true. You look at Assen.
Yeah.
I saw Assen this year. There was like 6 people on a fucking 3-legged donkey.
Okay, so you have to put the race on the Saturday because otherwise no one's going to go. Like, who's going to go watch fucking the Super Wars like practice? You know, fucking hell. They don't even televise it on the Friday. Do they even televise it?
No, they don't.
They don't.
I actually don't think they do.
They don't.
So 1, 2, 3, 5 good points. How much have I got left? 2
Oh,
minutes.
mate,
and
we've
20.
got 2 minutes.
But this year might see something. We got Top Rack on a different bike.
Yeah,
BMW.
Beamer.
Yeah.
We got Johnny Ray on a different bike.
Yamaha, yeah.
Batista's gonna have ballast put on his bike because he's too small.
Extra
So
7 kilos.
we'll see what happens there. And I'm
Yononi?
yeah. Well, he's gonna finish 12th every race. Isn't he?
Yeah, it's not a bad shout,
Yeah.
honestly.
He's just gonna be forgotten about mid-season. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna go. So that's gonna be the most exciting thing.
I hope you walk into the paddock and then just people start punching Tom.
Imagine that.
I'll set up a stand. I'll be like, change my mind.
Superbikes' ass changed my mind.
Well, like, it can be good, and we know it can be good, but like,
It's owned by MotoGP. It's run by Dorna.
yeah, but the thing is, why would I watch stock car racing when I can watch V8 supercars? Okay, why do I watch a less technological thing than I could watch? You know, if I look at V8 supercars versus F1, 2 different cars.
Correct.
But the MotoGP bike, the World Superbike, for the common person look exactly the same. Okay.
World Superbikes.
World Superbikes is still a road going by.
Yeah.
Correct. But if I get Joe Blow clicking on the screen, they go, "Oh, what's going around what's going on Tracy?"
100%,
It's like they're all going to
100%.
say look the same. You know?
Yeah.
But if you have a V8 supercar and an F1 car, they look completely different. So they're always going to have that challenge. They're just a lesser technologically advanced sport.
100%. I think it's more for the purists.
Yeah.
Like
but
diehards.
They
the
used
thing
to
is-
be massive.
But back
used to be.
in the 90s, we were starved of stuff. That's why it was big. Now we have so much coverage of MotoGP. We've got other categories.
Yeah.
You know, I think it was too.
True.
Back then, people loved bikes, bike riding. And we have this discussion a lot. It was a lot different. It was a lot more in style, I guess you could say. Like, it was cooler, whereas now it's probably not as popular.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's
Right.
going
People-
on with the community? Is it
people-
just a bit too many?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's for a different conversation, I think. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe off air.
Because you got the oldies that still like it.
And I think for them, what it was, shit, I can buy that bike.
Yeah.
You know, especially then it was a lot of 750s, and then it eventually moved up through to the 1000s. So, yeah.
That was the thing with V8 supercars, essentially. It's Ford or Holden.
Yeah, exactly
That's why
right.
V8 is
Commodore,
nowhere
Falcon,
now as
yeah,
well.
no.
That's the simplest explanation is what you just said.
Yeah.
It's I can go and buy a Holden, I can go buy a Ford. It's my brand, like it's a like I know Ford's not, but we felt like it was we made the own cars here. So
Well, yeah, the Falcons, which is like uniquely Australian. So.
But anyway, World Superbikes do better.
Beautiful. That's your 4 minutes,
4 minutes
17
17.
seconds.
Oh my god, I did
Beautiful.
well.
Spot on. Next question
Oh, no.
from Bandana Man, our good friend Mark Danby.
Mark Dandy, as Tommy calls him constantly.
Why is Tom such a tard?
Jealous. He's jealous. He's jealous.
No, I was a bit angry when you brought up the Ayrton Senna.
Yeah,
helmet
he
on the
did.
pod. You fucking cracked it.
Yeah, he did. Even though he said bring it up on the pod.
Oh, shut up, you thong wearing fatty.
He's got him.
Oh, Gertie.
But yeah, so any response? Do you know why, or do you
Maybe-
agree with the statement?
Look, obviously I agree. He's retarded as fuck. Yeah, maybe he is a bit jealous. You know, he's pretty good at proving a point though. Bandana Man, he does. Mark Dandy, if you are listening to this, you are sending me messages at 5 a.m. So I don't know what the fuck you're doing at 5 a.m. I'm personally running. I'm going for a run. I'm going to the gym. Better than everyone, obviously.
Nah, all jokes aside, Dandy is I love Dandy. I reckon he's a
Yeah.
great bloke.
Yeah,
and
he's
He is a wealth of knowledge, and I don't think we've even cracked the surface of what he
Yeah, we're
has to
getting back
offer.
No, we definitely haven't. And he's been a big supporter of us since day one.
Might
Yeah.
get him back on through Jan or Feb or something like that.
We'll definitely get him back
He
on.
definitely means his word. That's for sure.
Yeah, and
He can't bullshit him, that's for sure.
Nah.
And some of the photos he sends of him with like sitting down with Mika Hakkinen and
Oh, it's
You
great.
know.
So many great stories over the years.
and he's in the pits with Hamilton when he won his champion, like crazy stuff. So yeah, I'll take it. That's fine because I'll use and abuse him throughout the next year or so. So.
Very good. I'm going to leave this question to us. It's probably one of the
It
better
was a
ones.
serious one, was it?
Yeah, it's quite a good question. This is good for D. Bernhardt. What do you think the future looks like for Jack Miller? This is a great question.
fucking
This is a
great-
brilliant question.
Great question.
I think we should all have our opinion on it.
Yep.
Starting with James.
Jack Miller's future for me is he's got one last year on KTM,
Yep.
and then he's either going to go to Gas.
Is he good at developing a bike? Has he got proven
No,
strength in that?
I don't think so because
I think he helped a little bit with that launch device
on the Ducati.
from
Okay.
Ducati to KTM. I think he's a lot smarter than what people give him credit
Yeah,
for.
we are pretty tough on him, but just purely on his future and what's around him. You got a Costa. He's just going to take his spot. Like it's
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
just
done.
inevitable.
It's inevitable. Does he go to Gas? Does Aprilia, as we always say, going to boot? Are they going to boot? What's his name and what's his name?
It's
Vinales.
another
And
factory ride.
Spargo.
maybe he gets a factory ride on Aprilia
Does it mean he's raced for every manufacturer
Just
except
about,
Suzuki? Or Suzuki's not around.
And
He-
Yamaha.
and
Yamaha.
Yamaha.
Yeah.
So, or I could see him also going to World Supers because the dude loves racing. Yeah, go on then, you fucked.
It's World Super Sports, the real. They put him out in the paddock to rot.
Yeah.
With the nuclear power plant.
Yeah. Check track.
Mo? What's it called?
Most.
Most.
Terrible name
Most,
as well.
most.
Most.
That's probably I just see I can't see him. Unless something he has to win 3 races next year.
And the rest, I think.
You know, like he's got to be a title.
He's not going to win
contender.
3 races next year.
I know he's not, but
Not
like-
with the fucking Ducatis and Marc Marquez on a Ducati and just... Yeah, and Binder. Like, Binder's just outperforming him every weekend.
the thing, yeah. And I want him we need him on the grid because it's good for the grid when there's Aussies on there. Like when there's Americans on the grid, I think it's good for the sport. Same with Japanese. We give them heaps of shit, but it's good for the sport.
Doesn't really matter, I don't think.
Maybe
Yeah.
Japanese manufacturers are good for the sport, not much else.
Yeah, and they're fucking
Yeah.
struggling
And
as
they're
well.
struggling.
I mean, I wouldn't really care if Taka Nakagami sort of drifted off to Super
Yeah,
Sport.
but like, you know, a cool guy like Norikabe back in the day.
Yeah,
what
that's
you want.
that's
That's a
different.
different story. But
Bloody electrical problems.
Curtis, what are your thoughts?
I honestly think he should not look towards podiums and look more towards being a wingman for whoever he's going to be paired up with.
That's what he's
similar-
always done.
He was
Yeah,
a...
no.
caddy roll.
He was very good at
But
Ducati.
here's the thing: he goes backwards. He doesn't go forwards. He goes backwards.
Yeah, he needs to sort
And
his shit.
like in Mugello, for instance, this year or last year? I think it was 3rd or 4th, I think, and he was just holding everyone else
Yeah.
back while the people ahead of him were just going ahead.
That's
Yeah.
every race.
Every race, yeah. And if his teammate was up there, geez, it'd be absolutely great.
Yeah, he must have
Leave him
been.
out,
He must
but-
have lost so many positions off the start. Maybe even more than Vinales in some races.
The only time I enjoyed is when I see him going past Paco Bagnaia and just giving him the fucking wave and going, "Hey, how you doing?" And then you go right back past him again the first time. You're like, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, that's funny.
I'm eager to see if like MV Agusta gets involved because KTM did purchase them out last year, I believe. If any of that actually comes to light, if it's Moto2, if they ever do go to MotoGP,
I think MotoGP need another manufacturer just to
Like-
mix things up again.
Yeah, they do.
add another KTM to the board and just kind
Yeah.
of put Jack maybe down there, maybe. Yeah, no, not really. I wouldn't put him on an Aprilia.
No.
Nah, like here's the thing with Jack Miller. He's got the personality and the charisma just to be in front of the camera, and there's people who love him. Viva Miller. That's a brand right there.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
chuck it and go.
Yeah.
I don't see MotoGP like Dorna just wanting to get rid of him. Like he's not the greatest, but he has a personality where people go, "I want the merch."
I definitely
want
think
stuff."
there's a level of
Product.
that. Definitely, yeah. Because like you look at Ricardo in F1 as well. Like
Same thing.
they same thing. They like F1 would have done everything to get Ricardo back in that seat as well. Like, and they just a conversation. from Dorna to the team saying we want him in? Like, what do we have to do?
I'd honestly want to keep Jack Miller a part of KTM, but not factory.
Yeah,
So keep him something on a bike that has a fun, adventurous, spontaneous bike. So KTM and Aprilia, like the only two brands I see is that kind of marketing style.
Well, yeah. And he's got the pace. He's 100% got the pace.
he's
You just
definitely
can't keep
got
it over a Grand Prix. But
Yeah.
there's going to be 3 spots. I assume there's going to be 3 spots open on that Aprilia in 2024. Maverick's gone, Alicia's gone, and Raul Fernandez is gone. And that's 3 fucking good spots. Now, would you take Gas or what's a Star Trek Racing, whatever the fuck they call Trackhouse Racing?
Trackhouse.
I'd take the Gas if it was me, and keep him still in that family.
Yeah.
But if you got a factory Aprilia gig with like a Quartararo, I think that's going to happen? Probably not. He's going to have to win races for that to happen.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing
probably
is
needs
KTM's going to have to leave room for their next young gun to come through. I know Acosta obviously is that guy, but they're going to want to leave that Gas as their rookie
feeder,
team.
yeah, it's a feeder bike.
I actually see him going back to like an LCR.
Yeah.
Because
He's got Zarco for 2 years
Yeah,
still.
I had this conversation with someone today.
Yeah.
So he's got that relationship, obviously, with Luca Cecchinelli. He started his career there.
Stray Galicia started with Marco Vidias.
Yeah. That's where I see him. But yeah, who knows what the go is there? I mean, do we think? I mean, how cool would the Zarco Miller team be if they finally get fucking?
We're not Japanese.
Yeah, not Japanese. They got to
Zarco
keep
looks
that
too
Itamitsu
depressed.
Yeah.
sponsor.
They got that Itamitsu money.
Mm.
Iagura, if he's fucking man enough to go on MotoGP next year.
That's
Year
true.
after.
That's very true.
What do you think, Daniel?
Yeah, look, I don't think he'll be in factory KTM, and it might even be hard to get a gas ride because KTM's plan is for Vietti to come through in 2025. Hence why they signed him
It's
for the factory team in Moto 2.
Cutthroat.
So, like Curtis said, unless KTM get another spot on the grid, whether it's MV Agusta, whether it's Husqvarna, or whatever they want to label it as, I can't see him being there. Maybe he goes to Yamaha if they don't pull their shit together and Fabio leaves. That's because no one else will want to go on that bike. Maybe he gets a lifeline there. If I was Aprilia, I wouldn't be chasing him because you got too many guns coming up from below. That's going to be fighting tooth and nail to get those spots. So, yes, he will be there, just not on a factory bike. And then I think it'll be a last sort of hurrah for him. 1 or 2 years and that's it. I can't see him doing much else.
Yeah, it was funny at the end of this year because like it seemed like everyone sort of stayed the same except Polo Espargaro. That was the only change.
right.
He came in, Acosta obviously swapped, but like Morbidelli got a lifeline where he probably didn't deserve it.
100%.
On a fucking amazing bike.
That's right.
Yeah.
Digia, to a certain extent, got a lifeline. Obviously had a great last 6 races, but yeah, it was funny. It's sort of hard to crack into that MotoGP field. They'd
really
rather go
is.
for experience rather than a
exactly.
fresh rider.
Yeah, that's probably where it saves him, but it's just too hard to see. If he has another year like this, I get it, first year on the bike, but man, like, you got to be close to Binder. And that's bloody hard. Like, the dude's a freak.
Yeah.
So he's going to have
Pinata.
Yeah, he's going to have guys like Acosta breathing down his neck, potentially Marc Marquez breathing down his neck to go to Red Bull KTM.
He's going to bring down many people.
So, yeah, it's just going to be a tough one for him. He's got to have a stellar year, but I don't think it's going to happen. Which sucks because we love him. And like I said, for the personality, it's great for the sport. He said super marketable, brings people in, but it's just so frustrating because we know how good he is and he can be, and he's shown it before.
I do feel sorry for Jack in a sense though, because he seems to always be like a bit of a whipping boy, and I
100%.
think he deserves a lot more credit than what he's got. Like, he's still a multiple race winner on different manufacturers. He's put it on pole. He's put it on consistent podiums. He's been on a factory Ducati. He is like a legitimate MotoGP star, and future legend of the sport. Like, he's still won races. Like, he's still going to be a person you're going to remember 30, 40, 50 years down the line.
He's...
That's a big call, James.
Massive call.
That's a big call.
But as if you don't remember
Pope Miller.
riders from 20 years ago that still won races.
Yeah, I guess, but I don't know. He's got to do something.
Legend's a big word.
Legend's a massive call.
Okay, yeah, maybe not like MotoGP.
We'll remember him
legends.
because he's Aussie.
I think that's his saving grace for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But wouldn't call him a MotoGP legend just yet.
Yeah, I guess
He's got to do
fair
a
enough.
lot more. If he gets into the double-digit race wins, then we can maybe have that conversation.
How many has he won? 3? 4?
I think 4. I think 3 with Ducati.
You got to remember as well, he had every chance at the Valencian Grand Prix.
Yeah,
He was leading
did.
with like
But
7 laps to go.
But standard, he just fucking throws it down the road.
The KTM just didn't look like, obviously Binder had trouble in that corner as well. It just obviously just didn't click in that corner.
Yeah.
That direction change,
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's
Mafangulo.
yeah, beyond me. But fingers crossed he can pull something out of the bag and he stays.
Yeah,
on that
100%.
bike.
Yeah, bloody oath.
I reckon he'll be on the grid in 2025.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, I
okay.
think he still will.
I think we
but
all
like I
agree
said,
on that.
Just.
Yeah, I'm contradicting myself, but yeah.
Next question is from good friend of ours, Lukey Luke. What type of recording equipment do you guys use? Do you think it needs an upgrade?
Yes.
Well, we have had a couple of comments with our recording equipment. We try our best.
We do try our best. We are still very raw, so please bear with us.
Yeah.
We are doing some research though into a new audio recorder and whatnot. So
Next
yes,
year.
Luke, apologies. So we did have something special coming, but we will have that again in the new year, hopefully. But we are aiming to get all that rectified and sorted, so we have no technical issues or little to no technical issues moving forward, because it is very frustrating
Oh,
for myself and for Curtis and Jim, who are, seem to pull our weight, unlike some. But yes, it does need an upgrade, Luke. I appreciate the question. Another foolish dude. Which is the best finish of a race? Mine is Melandri 2006 Australian GP.
Yes, I 100,000,000%.
Like celebration.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be, doesn't it? That's the one in memory, and that will be remembered forever.
I think it is. I think that you can't go past that. I think that is the best.
My other memories of like those last lap dashes in Austria.
Yep.
With Marquez and
Yep.
Dovizioso, like that for me was unbelievable. The last lap in Silverstone with Alex Rins.
Yeah, I was going to
Like
say
that was. I don't think I've ever been so fucking happy at the end of a race.
Yeah, because he pipped him.
He pipped him,
Yeah.
and like it didn't look like it was a fucking.
Yeah.
He was 9/10 or a second behind going to the last sector. Like,
Yeah,
it's done, you know.
done. Yeah, it was a good
And
race.
just put it on the line, and that for me was just the best.
Yeah.
I think the best, yes, it's Melandri, but for me, still the best finish of any Grand Prix race has to be Crivier doing.
Oh,
yeah.
Spectators
In
on the
Jerez?
track
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Jerez.
Yeah.
I think
That's
that was
crazy.
just had every type of element ever. I was in Crivier's home track touches him but doesn't touch him. He high sides and takes a win. Like,
Yeah,
that's
that
incredible.
was unbelievable, wasn't it?
That was nuts. I liked, if we're talking celebrations, Rossi getting up and playing the violin.
Yeah, Donington.
Yep. In the
Yeah.
wet. Biaggi, when everyone was giving him shit saying he couldn't wheelie and almost looped it.
Oh, true. Yeah.
so if we're going
that was amazing, wasn't it? He's like up. It was
It was
fucking-
12 o'clock.
Yeah. He was over 12
Yeah.
o'clock. That. So yeah, if we're talking purely on celebrations, they're some of the most memorable. Rossi, whenever he did a bow, and then when he got off the bike in South Africa.
Yeah.
that's
What
pretty
about
memorable
Marquez
as well.
when he did the dance like this?
Yeah, the flossing.
Yeah, that was fucking terrible.
It's better than fucking Pecco's shitty
Well,
3-pointer, non-3-pointer.
Oh, man, that was-
Oh, don't give me
Oh,
started.
and Zarco. I guess it's
Yeah.
a celebration, but yeah,
That
the
one was
backflip's
good,
always
yeah.
Well, you guys were there for that live.
Yeah.
like-
yeah, for his
We were
GP
literally
one.
like 20 metres away. It was great.
That was
Yeah,
pretty
that's crazy.
Lorenzo Land was good back in the day.
Nah,
You wouldn't have liked it back then,
I didn't,
Bart.
but I appreciate it now. And him almost drowning in the
Phillip Island. He should have.
fucking in the water. Was it Phillip
No, I
Island?
thought
He jumped in the
was
water. I thought that was
Jerez.
Spain.
It
It was
was
like
Jerez.
Jerez
I
or
thought he jumped
Barcelona.
in the water at Phillip
Nah,
Island too.
Spain somewhere.
Nah.
Spear would have thrown a rock at him.
I'm sure it was Jerez.
Yeah, it was something like that. It was when he had the space suit on.
Yeah.
Either that or Barcelona.
It wasn't celebrations for me, but it was more of just the aftermath of who won, and that was Mugello 2016 when
Yep.
Lorenzo and Marquez first and second, and Rossi's engine cocked.
that was
yeah.
such a
The
disappointment
14th
in
lap,
that race.
and every hillside was just yellow or blue.
It's
And-
crazy that like his engine blew because it never happens.
And
it
literally,
happened to Lorenzo in practice. So he had a different engine. So
they
the
must have-
Yamaha thing.
Too
at
many
the
revs.
15th lap, you could see a wave of yellow just leaving.
Yeah.
Leaving. And then once Lorenzo
Like
won,
typical
it
Italians.
was... The Italians were already a bit pissed. Now you've just put oil on the fire and they're just catatonic. They're absolutely horrifically ignited and they just want to fucking deck someone. And it's a 5K walk from the track to the train station. It's 32 degrees, by the way.
With humidity?
Oh, it was bad. It was bad.
Were you sweating?
Yeah. I was in shorts and shirt and I was like,
sweating.
this is shit. And there was cars like fucking trying to get out of the place, people walking, and there was bikes going between the cars and the pedestrians just walking over, and people were starting fights left, right and centre. And I'm like, geez, this is...
Guidos, man.
You think it couldn't get worse. We get to the train station, we're waiting about 10-15 minutes, and the train arrives at a different station after the instructor said we were at the right one. And there's no shade. Train comes... All the guys are on the station are just looking at the instructor and they're just like, yeah, you're next. Train goes and literally they don't care about going underneath the underpass. They go over the train station just to grab the guy's badge. And just hands in the air for the next 10 minutes. Train finally comes around about 40 minutes later. We're fucked. We get into the train, just a mosh pit. Oh, this was about 3 or 4 in the afternoon. It was bad. And everyone's just literally like, if there was no space... There was no space. It was just a mosh pit and there was a sauna. Shit house.
The thing is once you get him going, you can't get him back.
No, that's a
It's like a Theo Von quote. It's like a Def Jack Russell.
So Curtis Magello, he's his best finish.
It was just like, this is bloody great. Got out of the train and everyone's like calmed down at that point.
Oh, shout out Cattle on your 09. That was a good finish too.
Oh, bro.
Yeah,
how are we
true.
not fucking talk about that?
Yeah, just the goat doing goat things.
That is very much a goat doing the goat things.
So
Second goat, maybe.
What else have we got?
Maybe. We'll see what happens next year.
Bruh.
And last question from Frank Woods. Would Motorsport Republica consider starting a racing team at some point?
Ooh.
Who would be in it and what would they do?
Alright, so
that's the final
just
question.
as a hypothetical, is this just obviously it's a hypothetical right now, but like, am I choosing people on the current grid?
However you want to do it,
Was
man.
that the good question you were waiting for?
Yeah.
Okay.
For me, it would be... If it was my perfect team, it would be a Honda.
So you're going to MotoGP?
MotoGP. Oh,
Bro, what are you
brother,
talking about?
you think I'm fucking...
World Superbikes?
CF Moto 3? Come on, get out of here. This is fucking... Superbike. Yeah, you're going to choose a fucking V2 Panigale Supersport Nicolo Bulligan up. Fucking get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, you got the knee slider.
Oh, true, yeah. It's fan of the pod.
I haven't got seen it yet, though. Bringing it in, or?
Nah.
I went Dewan's boot, nah.
Nah, it's lost.
Oh, fuck. Imagine.
Yeah, it has to be Honda. Marquez and Acosta for me.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, older than you.
Curtis?
Fuck, I'd like to get a Kawasaki team in.
Yeah, right. Interesting.
That's cool.
When did they go? Was it 2008, 2011?
Nah,
13 was our last
13.
year.
Oh, was it 13?
I think so. Melandrew on that it was all black Kawasaki, wasn't it? 13?
I reckon that was like 09, man.
That or Force Suzuki back in.
Oh, actually,
or
maybe
get back
2010.
in. Try and get a Quartararo. Get him off that Yamaha. And probably a Jorge Martin.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good
Ooh.
shout.
Oh, shit. Sorry, man. You are right. 2009.
2009.
Yeah, there you go.
I'd like to,
pretty cool.
because I see them in WSBK and I'm like, fuck, it'd be nice to see them back in MotoGP, another Jap team, and they're giving it a crack.
Mate, I love it. I love it. Kawasaki was fucking... I loved it when...
Yeah.
I love Aprilia, I love KTM, I love Ducati, but I'd like to see a team come back in, or like a BMW come into the fold and see what happens.
Nah.
But Kawasaki,
Yeah, BMW would be cool.
Yeah, it'd
Yeah,
be
a bit in
cool, but
that.
I just can't get around them.
Chow Demo.
Yeah, true.
Tom?
My ideal racing team?
Yeah.
It would be, realistically, a GT Am car in the 24-hour Le Mans.
That's sick.
That's
and
a fucking
us
cool
four
answer.
driving it.
Oh, bro, come
With
on.
Motorsport Republica in a Lamborghini
how the fuck are we fitting in that?
Hurricane.
No,
not
you
fitting
guys might be right.
Not,
Tom and I
not
might
all
be.
four of us racing at the same time. We do swapsies, bruh. Come on. You're not sitting on my lap. Unless
go
you
on
want
the
to. Actually, it is that time of the pod.
They'll need a big seat though.
So
right?
a lime green Lamborghini Hurricane, and then with Motorsport Republic all over it, and then just hot chick in the back or something.
Yeah,
Nah,
nice.
Conor McGregor.
Colombian?
There.
Colombian?
Yeah.
Yeah, blonde Colombian.
Relief room in the pits.
Yeah, relief room in the pits.
Get him going.
That's wicked.
You're walking out sideways, Tom.
And just to go back on that, one of the craziest things and we're going to touch on our guests later. One of the craziest things that I heard this year was Damien Cudlin talking about his 24-hour Le Mans race, and they weren't allowed to sleep for more than 20 minutes.
Yeah, that was incredible.
So they went to sleep, and then someone had to wake him up, so they wouldn't get into a deep sleep. Like, just unbelievable.
Fuck, forget it.
Amazing insight. If you haven't listened to that one, go and
get on
listen
it.
to that
Yeah.
one. That's
He was a legend too.
yeah, he's a fucking legend, and he was trying to feed us beers, but
We had to go.
yeah, we had to go. But that was a really good insight from
100%.
Damien.
100%. I mean, ideally, in an ideal world for myself, obviously, would be MotoGP. I'd probably take an Aprilia. I'd take Fabio and Alonso Lopez.
Oh, another good shout. I love all of them. They're all great
That's
answers.
good. But in a realistic world, I think it's not out of the realms of possibility if we ever sponsored a local racing team, whether it be cars or bikes. I think we could see our logo on
Yeah, definitely.
something like that. I think it'd be very, very cool. So,
And inquire within if that's something.
Yeah, if
I
it's-
actually have someone who is looking for some sponsorship at the moment, so we'll be talking about that next week, though.
Oh,
so that would be cool if we could see it on some local racing and build from there. So really, as a realistic goal,
yeah.
that's where it lies. But all great answers, boys. So thank you everyone for submitting questions.
Yes.
Hopefully you guys got the answers and we provided for you. So
Might put out another post this coming week.
Oh,
for
we
the
picked our
listeners.
top 8 of our 200 questions that were asked, so that was... I mean, we obviously missed some people as well.
yeah, that's right, exactly. So for those that we didn't get to, apologies.
Yeah.
We'll get you next time.
we'll get you next
I'll
time.
put up another post this coming tomorrow, which will be when we're already out. So for our next pod, so we can answer some more questions as well.
100%. So I don't think we touched on how this started on this app yet, have we?
No, we
No.
haven't.
So I think Jim and Tom is probably you guys best to kick off proceedings on how
The start of
Republica
Was that your porn addiction? Fucking or was that Thai lady right there?
Shut it up. So many viruses.
Sorry.
Chubby Latina. That's a serious search as well. That's a serious search.
we might have caught that once.
All right, sorry about that. I mean, I think, James and I we've always wanted to go into business together to a certain extent, and I think both were hating our jobs, so we're trying to have our mind escape to something. So, first of all, it sort of started out as apparel and some accessories and stuff, and then Daniel obviously works with James and Curdy, and you came along with a podcast idea and took it to James, and it all started from there. So
Fuck, scratching over it. So
no, I'm going back. I'm going back.
Can I say?
So
Paint the picture.
So we were at your house, I think, trying to figure out a logo, business name. I think we started with Motorsport Republic,
Yeah.
and then I said let's do Republica because it sounds a bit Italian. And
This is before the Italian.
and then we went through and started with t-shirt designs. Our first designs probably didn't hit the mark as much as what our latest ones have. And I mean, we're still going to continue that towards next year. We've put a little bit of hold on proceedings just to get all our ducks in a row.
Yeah.
And then we've just got a big 2024 coming up. So James, I'd like to add to that.
Yeah, I guess, and then from there, we're starting doing the tees and getting all the designs done, and that was slowly taken off, doing our thing. And then Dan and I are big Richmond supporters in the footy, and we went to Richmond, Melbourne. I think we lost. We're at the pub, had a few too many beers, feeling sorry for ourselves. And
Had 3 or 4, did you?
yeah, got them going.
Standard.
A couple butt chugs in there.
Shit.
And we're talking drunkenly. Daniel was talking about a podcast and basically said we should do a podcast and we can do it under the Republica type of banner. And then therefore Daniel was basically straight in. And it was like 2 days later, if I remember, we were buying stuff to do the podcast.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, I was driving around fucking Facebook Marketplace picking stuff up from Melbourne. We did a whole trip,
Yeah, we did a big day.
picking everything up.
Table. That.
Yep.
Yeah, we did. We picked up quite a few things.
Yeah.
And we've upgraded our audios,
Synths,
microphones as
Yeah.
well. We got a camera. Well, I got a camera as well. We actually shot our first probably 15 eps, 20 eps on an iPhone.
Yeah.
Which conked out. Out a couple of times.
Yeah.
We had to redo the whole episode till 1 a.m.
One of our first episodes was with Damo on the camera. I think it was our second episode on the camera was with Damo.
Possibly, yeah. Damien Garapoli.
No, Cudlin.
Cudlin, yeah, gotcha. Yeah.
Other Damo.
Yeah, ciao, Damo.
But yeah, it all just happened so quickly. Like, camera test. I'd never met Tom.
Yeah.
So the first test was on the casting couch at the front.
Yeah.
Which, again, Patreon.
Yeah,
we might release that one day.
If we release that, it is the worst watch you'll ever see.
It's
the most cringe thing
like,
ever.
Staring at the camera for like 3 seconds and then
Yeah.
away, and then 30 seconds later staring at it again.
Yeah, it's amazing how much more we're just bouncing off each other.
Of course, yeah, a lot more structure. We probably ran on some tangents. We still do.
And good banter as well. We try to keep it fun. But
Yeah.
keep it serious.
Lighthearted.
We try to keep it like a good balance of serious and fun.
Yeah,
because
100%.
Can't take yourself too seriously. It's
No.
funny giving people shit and just taking it as well.
And life's so serious, and some people just want to fucking relax.
Yeah,
and,
want to have a laugh.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's exactly how it all came about. Just talking about life and what we wanted to do. And James was like, "Yeah, let me message Tom. We'll do it together." I'm like, "Fucking let's do it." You
Yeah.
know. And then Curtis is the bloody brains behind all the videos and the editing, and he's had a tough run, the big fella.
All the
But
clips.
if it wasn't for Curtis, man, shout out to you, Curtis.
Yeah,
we give
we'd
you
be
shout outs all the
fucked.
time, but we'd be
Jeez.
screwed, man.
Yeah, thanks, Cutie.
Our 4,000 is thanks to you, man. That's no word of a lie. Like,
And then Marquez
Yeah,
video.
fuck.
And then Marquez video.
Yeah.
My unbelievable prediction was. Have we hit a million players on that one yet on Tiki? Probably. But,
almost.
That was excellent work as well.
But yeah, so yeah,
That was a scramble that afternoon because you guys were
On
was
our way
it
back from
Sydney?
Cudlin.
Yeah, Cudlin.
Yeah.
And then you're like, Curtis, it's happened.
Yeah.
Get it up. And I'm literally leaving the store.
What are you talking about?
What the fuck? Oh, I gotta do this now. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, as I get in and bird up the laptop, I'm like, fuck, and we're gonna go on hard on this.
Yeah.
Send it, and then I realise it's the wrong one. Delete it. Oh, next one.
It's a tangent again.
Oh,
Can't get it back.
We'll have to start the Oscar music with the
Yeah. The wrap up
get
music.
him out. But yeah, so it's been a good laugh. We've had a lot of fun and all gotten to know each other a lot better, I think.
Yeah,
So,
100%.
you know,
And we met some unbelievable people
Yeah.
across the year. Like
yeah, 100%.
that we can't not have this pod not talk about the drive to Damien Cudlin. So
This is the highlight of everything we've done. We've done some cool stuff.
yeah,
This is the fucking highlight.
James was adamant. We had to get a guest on early in the piece.
Yeah.
Early in
So we had Brian
we
as
had-
our
we had-
very first guest.
So we had Brian who
Daniel teed up.
yeah, with Daniel, well done for that. I was in Bali
Yeah,
at the
Bali,
time.
enjoying yourself.
You guys nailed it, and it was actually a really good podcast for me to watch, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
and then
he
come-
was so good to us.
Yeah,
too.
shout out
yeah.
to Brian, man. He was awesome.
He was a legend.
Fuck, he was a really good.
And then the trip came up. Damien Cudlin got in contact with us, and obviously wanted to do a podcast. And if no one knows, he lives about a 5 to 6 hour drive north of Sydney. And
Tell him, go through the timeline of this day.
so James and I wake up. Daniel's in Wollongong
Yeah,
with family,
for-
La
yeah.
Familia.
That's
And we were meeting you in Sydney. So we woke up at 4 a.m. Drove to the airport, parked, got on a plane, 6 o'clock flight, first flight out of Melbourne to Sydney. Landed. Daniel came. I met Pino for the first time. Daniel's dad. Infamous. What a legend he is, though.
Man, the man.
He's
The
just
stories.
He's just a gentleman of the industry, as we like to call
the
him.
stories.
And the drive started, and we started the drive up to
Kempsey.
Kempsey up to see Damo. I've never seen a man look back from a front seat as much as Pino did. I don't know. He hasn't got to cook back from it because he was just a legend. And it's one of those moments we talked about earlier in the podcast, like the peak performance.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't realize the peak performance when you're seeing it. You realize it after it happened. And looking back at that was just a momentous occasion. And Pino, he pretty much told his life story.
I don't think you scratched the
So fucking funny. I've never laughed so hard in my life.
You
than
woke
that
up
day.
laughing.
I woke up laughing from the car because Tom can talk and Pino mentally obliterated Tom into dribble.
Yeah.
He couldn't use. Yeah.
I've never met someone like that. Like
Ruthless.
and legend though, but like ruthless. Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah,
Ruthless.
yeah.
Like you're like, all right, let's have a couple of minutes. Hey, the bloody BK Brocky, mate. My mate on Blue, he lived up there, left on the left 3 kilometres. I was like, Fuck! He's up it again! James wakes up, pissing himself off.
I was fake sleeping. Just trying to get
So anyway, we get up there at, would it have been
12:30.
12:30?
Yeah.
We had a flight back at 9 p.m. at night, and it took us 6 hours to get there. So we're thinking, all right, we've got an hour and a half maybe, but fuck, it all went so quick. And we had the podcast, awesome podcast, but we had to fucking
We had to wrap it up,
no,
man.
we
It
had
was
to
a
wrap it
fucking
up.
speed.
So we packed everything up in the car. We Damo was showing us his motorbike track and his farm. He's got the Sherwood estate up
Shout
there.
out to the Sherwood Estate as well.
Which if you're looking for a wedding venue, stunning. And we just got back straight in our car, and then on the phone to Shaggers and
Yeah.
Oh,
John Damasi.
John
Damasi.
Shout out to my
Yeah.
cousin John Damasi.
John Damasi
Legend.
1, 2, or 3. Which one was it?
Number 2. I think it was number 2.
And drove all the way back. We actually probably just made it. We had about 20 minutes to spare and hopped back on a plane. But what a day. We got back about 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Mind you,
fucking
my old
cool.
man's like, boys, make sure your phones are off. And his fucking phone went off 5 minutes in the stair.
Daniel's face was so pissed
I
off.
was not impressed. Then he fucked the GPS on the car.
Alright, still
Like,
funny,
we
isn't
could
it?
have a 4-hour long pod just on the shit he
Yeah,
did
the
that
shit
day,
that he
but-
did.
It was the
Yeah.
best. It was the fucking best.
And he kept chewing me ear off that night when I was trying
Oh,
to work
relentless.
on the pod. Yeah, he's
Relentless.
relentless. But
And then
Talk
more,
the universe
more
to death.
yeah, he would. And then more recently, we decided we'll stay for a night or two up at Sunshine
yeah,
Coast.
it's better.
And we ended up staying one more night than we thought because our flight was cancelled. But we went up, and a special thank you to Renita Vermeulen. She has been phenomenal since we first started all this, and she has been such a great support. So she
Absolutely.
hooked up, obviously, a podcast with her brother Chris, and fuck, we had such a good time.
Yeah.
Such a good time. So sat up there a couple of nights, and it was a beautiful couple of nights away.
It was good. It was good fun. And
In the beach, we went to the beach, and
A
yeah,
few beers.
Couple
yeah,
beers,
fucking hell,
nice
this is
breakfast.
living, you know. So
was living. There was Republica on tour. It was
Republic on tour.
sort of all turned, which I'm like, shit, man. Like
Yeah.
this is the dream, you know.
Yeah.
But
yeah, we were bobbing up in the water and the
Yeah.
fucking thing. How fucking good is this, you know?
smashed by waves and
So there's many more to come in the next year. So
Yeah, that's right. And
Definitely.
hopefully January we're looking to plan a few more trips. So
yeah,
get Curtis involved this time. Get him up
yeah.
there with us.
yep, definitely.
Absolutely. But yeah, shout out to all the guests, like Tom said. So first guest was Damo, your mate.
Damien Garapoli, special friend of the podcast, big fan,
very good friend.
big
of the
Rossi
pod.
fan. Yeah.
So shout out to him for the first.
Yep.
Massive shout out, like you said before, Brian Starring for
Yeah.
coming on,
Yep.
taking time out of his super busy schedule. Can't thank him enough. And then from there we had Damo.
Yep.
Shout
Damien
out
Cudlin.
Damo.
Yep.
Check him out. Check out the Sherwood Estate. Renita
Yep.
in Phillip Island, which is an amazing pod. Audio might have stuffed up, but that's alright. Don't worry about it. Don't worry
Don't worry
about it.
about it.
Don't worry about it,
Uh,
right?
One
But
of the
yeah.
nicest human beings on earth as well.
Shout
So
out-
accommodating.
Yeah, shout out to Renita. Check out all of her socials. She's trying to crack onto this like we are, so
Yeah.
show some love and support over there. And then, yeah, thanks again to her for organising Chris. And shout out to Chris. He was an absolute gentleman as well. Like,
yeah.
who would have thought, you know,
Yeah.
we'd meet such cool people and be able to do all that with everyone.
Yeah,
So,
I think this all started, was it April, May?
Yeah.
So it's in 7 months' time, and I think we've exceeded what we thought was going to be, what the business was going to be by the end of the year. So,
Absolutely.
and we are building a brand. It's not just a podcast, not just apparel.
Correct.
It is a brand. Daniel's obviously with his Gear Geek. We've got
Yeah,
we've got
so
one coming out shortly as well.
We do, yeah. So I was lucky enough to film 3 more. I've got a couple more items on the way as well to do some reviews. So if there's any motorbike importers of apparel or bikes or tyres or whatever, hit us up. Check out the first one. You'll be able to see the next few as well. If there's anything you'd like us to review or like me to review, let us know and we can definitely work something out for there.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, so we want obviously our website to be a one-stop shop, to be, you know, you can buy your stuff, you can buy your accessories, you can look at reviews, you can watch a podcast, you can news and what's going on in the world. So
100%.
Correct. And shout out to Mark Danby as well, because he had a lot of
yeah,
insight as well.
yeah. Well, no,
in
he's
MotoGP
a
and
he's a
F1.
regular now.
He is a regular,
Yeah.
but still to give us his time.
100%.
And, he had some great stories.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Just to almost close off,
Yes.
I would love to know everyone's. Was there a single moment in your life where you thought, "Fuck, motorsport, this is me"? Is there a single moment? I'll kick it off first. For me, it was going down to 2003 MotoGP, piss down rain the whole weekend, and then we rode in with my dad, and I was only a kid. Got caught out in the rain. We said, "Fuck this, we'll go home." And there was like 10 of us all huddled around a little TV in Phillip Islands, pissing down rain, watching Valentino Rossi do one of the best wins of all time and catch Barros or Cap Rossi,
That's
whoever it
cool.
was, from a 10-second lead. And just being in that atmosphere in Cows, nothing better. That
Yeah.
was, for me, the catalyst that kicked it all off. And that's, I'm sure a lot of people have some similar stories, but for me, that's what made it. You know, the love for motorcycle Grand Prix and just motor racing was that.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah, I think mine was probably not in person, more watching on TV. Was like that 07 championship when Raikkonen won. Was just that last race in Brazil. I just thought this is the fucking best thing on the planet.
Yeah.
We were lucky enough in 2017 meeting Shane Van Gisbergen
Yeah.
out in Cows.
Yeah.
That was probably one of the greatest nights we've ever had, and just partying with him. And like that was a real special memory that we'll always have.
Blurry memory.
Yeah, blurry memory, but memory we'll have forever. So
Yeah.
Curtis?
Oh, fuck. Oh, jeez. Actually, it'd be between Jamie Whincup and Craig Lowndes, Bathurst 1000. I don't remember
fuck
the
yeah.
year exactly. But just seeing the rookie coming in and then challenging Craig Lowndes, and he was doing it very quickly and rapidly. Because, like, when I was living in Melbourne for about 2 to 3 years after Canberra, there would be something every year we'd do. Is that we'd go to a mate's place and they'd have a pool, barbecue, and then big plasma TV, V8 supercars, and that was the day.
Yeah.
And just Bathurst 1000, when you get at the beginning of the day where they're showing the prep for each team, so kind of trying to do it with tyres and fuel, when they're going to try and think of pitting in and going back out. And then like some of the instances where Jamie Whincup just, it was much later on, running out of fuel at the
that was a good
last lap.
Yeah.
And I'm just watching that going, yeah, love this.
Yeah, that was incredible. And he's had the team on the radio saying, conserve fuel.
And he didn't.
And he didn't. He just went for it. So and it was still one of the greatest mysteries, that race, of why didn't he conserve fuel?
Yeah.
It's all the rivalries between, everyone hated R. Kelly. Oh, not R. Kelly. No, not R. Kelly. Fucking
Rick Kelly.
Rick Kelly, that's it.
It is.
Yeah, it is
R.
R.
Kelly.
Kelly.
R. Kelly on his phone.
Yeah, he's impressive. The other one.
Mate, a lot of
I think
people
the other people
hated
hate
him.
the other one.
Yeah, they did. Because he came from a rich family.
Yeah. It's just like, get the fuck out of here.
So, what's your thoughts on the current supercars?
What supercars?
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
there you go.
It's fallen off. I remember when they were like, oh yeah, V8 supercars. Now on Foxtel, it's like, what are you doing?
See, there you go. Foxtel.
We just went, I don't want to bother Foxtel. It was an absolute nightmare. The only people who use Foxtel are my grandparents.
What about KO? Do you get KO?
Oh, we got KO eventually, yeah. And we'll let that
you have
sell
to,
a lot.
though.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
It's forced.
But when it was free to air, Holden versus Ford,
It was your weekend, wasn't
yeah.
it?
And it was like kind of what sparked the rival was people just owning Fords and Holdens.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't really get that now. So.
No. Daniel?
07 Phillip Island
Okay.
was my first
Casey Stoner.
live experience. Got to meet Simoncelli the night before the race.
Yep.
Yep.
Pino's?
Yep.
Not Daniel's dad, the restaurant.
Not the
Named
restaurant,
after
yeah.
Pino,
Named,
right?
yeah, named after.
He named after Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was, just remember him being super kind. Like I don't know if it was his PR person or his manager was like, nah, come on, let's go. And he's like, dude, I'm taking a photo with the kid.
That's cool.
So super cool. And it was just, the first live taste of it all. And just after that, I just fell in love. And
Yeah.
I'd already loved it prior to that, but
That was the
actually,
moment.
that was the moment I go, fuck. And then being, funnily enough, with a family friend at a track day, just watching everyday guys ride around, and I was like, man, this is like the coolest thing ever. Like, I'd love to be around this when I'm old enough and lucky enough to be around it, and love it. Love anything
love
with an
it.
engine.
Phillip Island's just such a mystical place, isn't it?
It's
So-
such a beautiful place. I
Yeah.
love it. Like,
Yeah.
You go over that bridge and you're like,
you just
have
know,
a different
yeah,
feeling.
it's-
Yeah.
it's a crazy feeling. So
Got to
Yeah.
complete track day there, mate.
that's the only thing now. Just got to
7.5 laps.
complete the track
Yeah.
in real life, not on the game,
Yeah.
and not blow up 7 laps.
Too many revs, mate, down the front straight.
Yeah.
Should have
Too-
reduced
too
it
much
a bit.
power.
Yeah, too much power, you reckon? Yeah, well, let's run with that. Let's run with that. My Pecco and Martin prowess.
Oh, fuck.
But
Boys,
yeah, that's it.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to all
Happy
our
New
listeners.
Year.
Yeah,
Merry Christmas.
yeah, and thank you for amazing second half of 2020.
Yeah. And thanks to all listeners. All your support does not go unnoticed.
No,
we see all your comments.
Yeah.
We see your messages. We try and reply to everyone. It actually means a lot. And it's great that we are providing a bit of entertainment to the motorsport community here in Australia. I think it's starving for it, and a bit of an honest, fun, review that we kind of do. But it's all the listeners. It's awesome. We always talk about it. We love all the messages and the comments,
100%.
and we really do appreciate it. So keep on listening in. We'll keep on doing content, and that's us.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas.
See you next year.
See you
See you
next
guys.
year.